There are nights when the stars whisper to those who are awake enough to listen. Rumi. This video reached you because something inside you is tuned in, even if you can't explain why. Have you ever felt a strange tension in the air, like everything around you is holding its breath? Tonight carries that energy. What unfolds after this moment might shift more than you expect. Stay with me. There are certain nights that act like invisible doorways, quiet yet powerful moments when something beneath the surface shifts. These thresholds don't always announce themselves with fireworks or loud signs. Sometimes they arrive in ordinary ways: a still evening breeze, a restless feeling before bed, or sudden sense that something is different. Spiritually, these moments are like intersections between the seen and unseen, where personal timelines can subtly but significantly change direction. Throughout history, many cultures have recognized threshold moments. Ancient traditions often marked specific nights with rituals because they believed that the veil between worlds became thinner, allowing divine guidance or new energies to enter more easily. Even in everyday life, people experience these thresholds. The night before a life-changing decision, a sudden realization that transforms perspective, or a quiet moment that unexpectedly alters the course of relationships or purpose. These are the points where the future bends, sometimes without you realizing it until much later. Recognizing these thresholds is important because awareness gives you the power to participate consciously instead of passing through unconsciously. If you've ever looked back and thought, everything started changing that night, you've already encountered one. The key is to notice when such a night is happening now, to pause, ground yourself, and choose with intention. Moments like this are not accidents, they're invitations. Every significant shift in human experience often mirrors something happening above us. Throughout time, civilizations observed the sky not just for navigation or seasons, but to sense energetic turning points. Nights like this often coincide with powerful cosmic alignments, planetary positions, lunar phases, or celestial patterns that amplify emotional and spiritual sensitivity. These aren't random occurrences. They create a kind of energetic echo that influences how events unfold and how we feel. For example, a full moon tends to heighten emotions, bringing clarity or revealing hidden truths. An eclipse can act like a reset button, closing one chapter while forcefully opening another. Planetary transits, such as retrogrades or conjunctions, can stir in a reflection, unexpected changes, or bursts of inspiration. When several of these align at once, the atmosphere becomes charged, almost electric, not physically, but emotionally and spiritually. You may feel unusually alert, restless, inspired, or reflective without fully understanding why. This is why many people, even those who don't follow astrology, report sleeplessness, intense dreams, sudden breakthroughs, or emotional waves on nights of strong cosmic activity. The sky becomes a silent messenger, reflecting shifts we're meant to notice. Understanding this helps you align yourself with the energy instead of resisting it. Instead of brushing off what you feel, acknowledge that something larger is at play, and let that awareness guide your next steps. There are moments in life when everything seems to align with uncanny precision. A message arrives at the exact right time, a person crosses your path just when you need them, or sudden inner nudge leads you toward a decision that changes everything. These are what many spiritual traditions call divine windows, brief but powerful periods when the ordinary flow of time feels orchestrated, almost as if something bigger is gently guiding events. Ancient cultures were deeply attuned to these windows. They scheduled ceremonies, declarations, and important actions according to celestial patterns because they believed certain nights carried heightened spiritual significance. Similarly, in personal life, prophetic timing often shows up through synchronicities, dreams, or a string of meaningful coincidences that are too precise to ignore. You might see repeating numbers, overhear a conversation that answers a question you've been silently asking, or feel a sudden, clear pull to act. The key is not to force these moments, but to recognize them when they arrive. A divine window doesn't demand panic or perfection, it invites attentiveness. By staying present, calm, and spiritually open, you can move through these windows with clarity rather than confusion. It's about sensing when the door is slightly open and choosing to step through before it closes. This is how life often delivers breakthroughs, not always loudly, but through perfectly timed whispers. When a significant night arrives, It's not just a poetic idea. Your body, mind, and emotions often feel it. Many people notice a subtle but undeniable energy surge, restlessness, sudden bursts of clarity, unexpected mood swings, or even physical sensations like tingling, warmth, or chills. It's as if your inner system is picking up on a frequency that your conscious mind hasn't fully processed yet. This isn't imagination. Heightened energetic moments can amplify sensitivity and awareness. Some experience this through intense dreams that seem more vivid than usual, carrying symbolic messages or emotional breakthroughs. Others feel unusually awake late into the night, as if something is keeping them alert for a reason. You might find yourself reflecting on the past with new perspective or feeling drawn to make decisions you've been postponing. It's common to oscillate between excitement and unease. Both are natural responses to heightened internal energy. The important thing is not to label these sensations as good or bad. Instead, view them as signals that something meaningful is stirring. Rather than resisting or distracting yourself, take a moment to breathe deeply, ground your energy, and allow the surge to flow through without judgment. This simple awareness can transform restlessness into clarity and uncertainty into readiness for what comes next. In heightened nights like this, emotions can run wild, thoughts race, and events may feel unpredictable. This is exactly when stepping into the observer state becomes a quiet superpower. Instead of reacting impulsively to everything you feel or notice, becoming the observer allows you to watch without getting swept away. It's the difference between standing in the middle of a storm and calmly observing it from a safe place. When you pause and simply notice your thoughts, emotions, sensations, and surroundings, something shifts. You stop feeding the chaos and start reclaiming your clarity, spiritually. This moment is powerful because awareness acts like a magnifier. Whatever you observe consciously becomes easier to transform. Many breakthroughs, insights, and aha moments happen when you stop reacting and start watching with presence. You can activate this state through simple practices. Take slow, intentional breaths. Sit quietly for a minute without trying to fix or analyze anything. Feel your feet against the floor. Remind yourself, I am aware of this moment. This creates inner space. From this space, your intuition becomes sharper, decisions clearer, and you gain the ability to align with the unfolding shift rather than being carried away by it. This observer moment often separates confusion from awakening. Threshold nights often act like mirrors, quiet but brutally honest. When the atmosphere is charged, it has a way of bringing hidden things to the surface. Emotions you've pushed aside, truths you've ignored, or patterns you've unconsciously repeated can suddenly feel impossible to overlook. It might arrive through a conversation that reveals someone's true intentions, a memory that resurfaces with unexpected clarity, or a sudden realization about your own behavior that shifts your perspective. These revelations can be uncomfortable at first. It's natural to feel unsettled when something long buried comes into the light, but this unveiling isn't meant to break you, it's meant to free you. What's hidden has power over you precisely because it remains in the dark. Once acknowledged, its grip weakens. Think of it like turning on a light in a room you've avoided. At first, you see the mess, but now you can actually clean it. The key here is to receive these moments with honesty rather than resistance. Don't rush to fix everything instantly, but don't deny what's shown to you either. Awareness is often the first and most important step toward real transformation. What surfaces tonight isn't random, it's what you're ready to finally face. There are moments when life quietly places two paths before you. They might not appear dramatic at first, no flashing signs, no thunder in the sky, but the decisions made in these moments ripple far beyond what you can see. Spiritually, nights like this are often referred to as timeline split points. They're the junctures where your choices don't just affect tomorrow, they subtly shape months, even years ahead. You might feel this as a tug-of-war between comfort and growth. One path may keep you safe, familiar, and predictable. The other might feel uncertain, but alive with possibility. It could be a decision about letting go of something that no longer serves you, stepping into a role you've been resisting, setting a boundary, or finally acting on a truth you've known deep down. What makes these moments powerful is not their size, but their timing. They arrive when the energetic weight behind your decision is amplified. Approach these crossroads with awareness rather than fear. You don't need to rush, but you do need to be honest. Listen to that quiet, steady voice within. Often, it's not the loudest option that leads you forward, but the one that feels undeniably aligned. Decisions made at timeline splits can rewrite entire chapters, and tonight might be one of those moments. Before every breakthrough, there's almost always a test, not as punishment, but as preparation. These tests often show up subtly, catching you off guard in moments of vulnerability. It might be a sudden emotional trigger, an old habit reappearing, someone from your past reaching out, or an unexpected situation that tempts you to fall back into outdated patterns. Spiritually, these moments aren't random obstacles. They're opportunities to prove that your inner growth is real, not just imagined. Think of it like life asking, are you truly ready to step forward? If you've been healing from self-doubt, a situation might arise that challenges your confidence. If you've been working on setting boundaries, someone may test those boundaries right when the stakes feel high. These moments reveal whether you'll revert to old loops or respond from a place of newfound strength. The key is awareness. Instead of reacting on autopilot, pause and notice what's happening. Ask yourself, is this a pattern I've seen before? What choice would reflect who I'm becoming, not who I was? Passing these tests isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. When you respond differently, you signal to life that you're ready for what's next. Many powerful shifts happen right after you choose growth in these quiet, defining tests. Before major shifts, life often gives subtle hints that something is building beneath the surface. These signs can appear in ways that seem ordinary at first, but become hard to ignore once you start noticing. One of the most common is synchronicity, seeing repeating numbers, hearing a message that directly answers a question you've been thinking about, or crossing paths with someone at the exact right moment. These moments aren't coincidences, they're gentle nudges signaling that you're aligning with a bigger flow. Emotional signs are equally important. Many people describe a strange mix of anticipation and unease, like standing at the edge of something they can't quite name. Old emotions may resurface briefly, not to drag you back, but to remind you of what you've overcome. Dreams might become more vivid, conversations feel unusually meaningful, or you might sense a heightened clarity about where your life is heading. The key is to stay attentive without overanalyzing. You don't have to chase signs or obsess over their meanings. Instead, receive them with quiet awareness and gratitude. Think of these signs as small lanterns lighting your path. They don't reveal the entire journey, but they give you just enough light to keep moving forward with trust. Big turning points often require releasing what can't move forward with you. Energetic ties aren't always visible, but they can feel heavy, like carrying old emotional luggage that slows every step. These ties can be to people, places, habits, or even outdated versions of yourself. You may notice them through recurring thoughts about the past, lingering resentment, or a subtle emotional drain after certain interactions. Nights like this bring these attachments into sharper focus, inviting you to let go with honesty and grace. Cutting ties doesn't always mean cutting people off harshly. It often means shifting the energetic dynamic. It can be forgiving someone silently so their grip on your heart loosens, or finally deciding to stop feeding energy into a situation that no longer serves your growth. Reflective writing, quiet prayer, symbolic acts like releasing something into water or burning old notes, or simply speaking your intention out loud can be surprisingly powerful. The goal isn't bitterness, it's freedom. By releasing stagnant energies, you create space for new opportunities, relationships, and insights to flow in. Holding on might feel safe, but it keeps you anchored to yesterday. Releasing is what allows the new chapter to actually begin, and on a threshold night, this act carries amplified power. In spiritually significant moments, life often presents a key, a piece of insight, a sudden opportunity, or a moment of undeniable clarity that unlocks the next stage of your journey. This key might not look dramatic. It can arrive through a quiet realization, a conversation that shifts your perspective, or an inner nudge that feels absolutely right. It's less about grandeur and more about timing, the right awareness appearing at the exact moment you're ready to use it. Many people miss their key because they expect it to be loud, obvious, or delivered with fanfare. But keys often arrive subtly, a new idea that won't leave your mind, a sense of peace about a decision you were once unsure of, or the courage to take a step that previously felt impossible. These are signs that something has clicked within you. When this happens, don't doubt or delay. Acknowledge it, write it down, sit with it, or speak it out loud. This act anchors the key into your reality. The purpose of the key is to open a door, not to be stored away. When you recognize and act on it, even in a small way, the path ahead begins to unfold with greater clarity. This is often the exact moment when everything quietly shifts. After a powerful shift, it's essential to ground what you've received so it doesn't fade away with the passing night. Many people experience breakthroughs, insights, or emotional clarity, but without consciously anchoring that energy, it slips back into the noise of daily life. Anchoring means giving form and stability to the new awareness, ensuring it becomes part of your reality rather than just a fleeting experience. One of the simplest ways to do this is through stillness. Spend a few quiet moments journaling what you've felt, learned, or realized. Naming your experiences gives them weight and permanence. Some people choose to light a candle, say a prayer, set an intention, or walk under the night sky while reflecting on what shifted. Others might clean their space, take a grounding bath, or simply breathe deeply while holding the feeling of clarity in their body. These actions may seem small, but they root the intangible into something tangible. Equally important is protecting this energy from external doubt. After meaningful moments, distractions, fear, or others' opinions can quickly scatter your focus. By intentionally anchoring, you create a strong inner foundation. This ensures that what was awakened tonight doesn't remain a passing spark. It becomes a steady flame, guiding the steps ahead. Every threshold eventually leads to a door, and the moment comes when you must choose whether to step through it. This is where insight turns into action. You may feel a mix of excitement and nervousness, which is completely natural. Stepping into something new always carries uncertainty. But remember, doors don't stay open forever. Energetic windows are powerful precisely because they're temporary. When you sense that pull, hesitation can keep you circling outside, while courage propels you forward. Walking through the door often doesn't involve grand gestures. It could be making a clear decision you've been postponing, speaking a truth that frees you, starting something that's been on your heart, or releasing something you've outgrown. What matters is not the scale of the action, but the alignment behind it. Even a single step in the right direction can shift everything. This moment is less about perfection and more about trust, trusting your intuition, the timing, and the strength you've gained through everything that led here. When you walk through that door, you symbolically leave the old chapter behind and align yourself with the new path that's waiting. It's a sacred act of saying yes to the future that's calling you. Big shifts rarely stay contained within a single night. They send quiet ripples through the days and weeks that follow. When you make a conscious decision, release old energy, or step through a symbolic door, the effects begin to unfold in your relationships, mindset, and opportunities. You might notice subtle changes first, different conversations, unexpected clarity in situations that once confused you, or new people entering your life who align with where you're headed. These aren't coincidences. They're the natural consequence of shifting your internal frequency. As these ripples move outward, they influence not just you, but also the spaces and people connected to you. Sometimes this creates harmony and alignment, and other times it reveals where things no longer fit. Old patterns may fade, certain dynamics may naturally loosen, and new pathways begin to emerge. Rather than resisting these changes, trust that they're signs of forward movement. This ripple effect also acts as confirmation. When you start to see external life reflecting your inner shift, it's a reminder that what happened tonight is real and unfolding. Stay attentive, but not anxious. Allow these ripples to shape your path with grace and walk into the coming days knowing you've crossed into something new. Tonight marks a turning point. Trust the shift, stand in your power, and walk forward with clarity. Share your reflections below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay connected to Quantum Veil.